So yeah, I just wanted to do a review of this CASIO W-218H wristwatch because I think it's a good basic outdoor watch. It's waterproof to 50 meters, 5-bar waterproof. It's pretty cheap. It doesn't look like a totally cheap watch. You could wear it in the city. It looks slightly aggressive. The band looks slightly aggressive with these raised areas, but they actually form a pretty good function. They hold the watch tightly onto your wrist without letting it move. It has these wings too, which also help to keep the watch in position. The band plastic is good quality. I've had this for 6 months. It's still very flexible, and it has bumps all across the whole band to keep the on both sides too, on the buckle side and the non-buckle side, and that keeps the watch like a millimeter or 2 millimeters off your skin, which allows the sweat to move out slightly, and that works. Some of these cheap watches are extremely uncomfortable to wear, but this one is actually not uncomfortable at all. Another thing, the buckle itself is actually good and tough, strong. I mean, everything that Casio makes that I've had my hands on in terms of these more lower priced watches, is the quality is 8 out of 10. You might not get everything you want, but what you get is good quality. Features: it has just a normal watch, face, display time. You can go to 12 or 24 hour. It's not going to change anything at the moment because it's only 12 p.m. But there we go. Let me keep this on 24. It's got a day, which is nice for some people, and the date, no month. A little bit unfortunate, but it's cheap. You press mode, you got your alarm. It's easy to change, one button. The light switches on, and you use this button to flick the numbers. Let's get back to 8. And then light again. And it'll get you to the minutes. I don't need to change those. Press mode again after setting the alarm will take you back to the main screen. Mode again, you get to the stopwatch. Start. Light is the split button. Split. Stop. Then lights reset. Mode to get back to daily life. What do I like about this watch? Well, if you just look at it, it looks kind of cool from all angles. It looks a little bit aggressive, looks a little bit slightly tactical. I mean, obviously anyone who knows what they're looking at is gonna think, they're gonna know what it is. But it's square. Let me get it on the wrist for a second. It's square. You see, as you get to a distance and an angle, it actually looks kind of cool. It doesn't look like a super cheap watch. The corrugations on the side, I'm talking about these bumps, they they perform a function, and that function is to lift the watch off your arm. The weight of the watch is barely on my, barely touching me. You can see that because those corrugations lift it up, and the watch is also not tight on my arm right now, but it's not moving because those corrugations kind of allow it to grip nicely onto the wrist, so it can't flip around too much, which is nice. When you look at your watch, it should be, where you expect it to be, and not just randomly somewhere else. The buttons are big enough that you can touch them with gloves on. You can operate them with gloves on, but not so big that they catch on everything. They're a little bit recessed. They have these little side, I don't know what to call it, barriers, I guess, which kind of prevent unwanted contact with the buttons. The watch is not too tall that it would get in the way of putting on jackets or pulling things on and off your arm, whatever. And it's actually tough enough that it doesn't scratch super easily. I've used this outside for like 6 months, quite a lot, and it just doesn't scratch. It just doesn't scratch. If you, it's not scratch resistant or anything like that, as advertised by Casio. But I'm telling you, this thing doesn't scratch as much as you'd expect. It just doesn't. Yeah, there's no scratches on there. And even if it does, after a few months, you can buy it again. That's what I like about it. It's replaceable. It does the job. It's cheap. But it does the job better than you expect. And it's worth getting to know because you can buy it again and you won't be disappointed again. And it'll do the same job again just as good. And Casio is never going to change it or stop making it. I don't like to buy something and then it goes out of manufacturing the next year, and I know that if I need it again in 2 years, I can't rebuy it because it doesn't exist. I'm already used to this watch. I don't want to change to something except to maybe a G-Shock. But then again, G-Shocks also get scratched. And when you got a $150 watch on your arm and it gets scratched, it's a little bit irritating. When when you have this, which is like $30, you don't really mind that much. Just for fun, waterproof. Seems waterproof to me. It's underwater. There it is. So, I mean, I can tell you for sure. Oh, this is waterproof. Um, I'll put buy links in the description. I would honestly recommend it for a super. This is not a daily beater watch for the city. For that, you can get a G-Shock. Something $150. It's not going to get scratched. But when you're outside, around untreated areas like concretes and maybe go over a fence, something like that, you don't want something that costs more than $100 on your hand, really. Anyway, buy links will be in the description. Have a nice time, guys.